Dominus Cinephile.
Welcome to my movie and TV series reviews, where I will provide honest opinions of the latest releases. If the movie or TV series is a hit or a miss, be sure to know I will inform you. But if the movie or series is trash, be also sure to know that I will trash the hell out of the movie. I am Dominus Cinephile.
And the movie on the review table today is the Nollywood science fiction film, JAPA. JAPA is produced by One Pod Pictures and Inkblot Productions for Amazon Prime, with the script written by Chinaza Onuzo, Tamara Ihi, and Isioma Osage. Isioma Osage also makes her directorial debut with this movie. The cast includes Adesua Etomi-Wellington, Jidekene Achufusi, Blossom Chukwujekwu, Seun Ajayi, Mofe Duncan, Lai Wasabi, and a TikTok skit maker, Christian Obi, also known as the Igbo Wolf. JAPA premiered on Amazon Prime on March 8, 2024. The movie follows the story of Mezu, a determined teacher eager to JAPA or immigrate from Nigeria to the United States for greener pastures. He connects with fellow aspiring immigrants in a group called the JAPA Network during late-night IELTS exam prep classes. With his travel plans approved and his departure imminent, Mezu sells his car to boost his finances, only for him to be robbed shortly after. Desperate for funds, he accepts a last-minute job as an exam invigilator. Upon discovering charity funds in the possession of his friend Kamsi, Mezu steals the money and proceeds to board his flight as originally planned. However, his journey takes an unexpected turn when he awakens mid-flight to find himself back in his bed, trapped in a time loop, forced to relive the same day in Nigeria repeatedly. With each repetition, Mezu gains new insights, including identifying the culprit behind his robbery. Equipped with this knowledge, he must convince his fellow members of the JAPA network to assist him in finding a possible way out of the loop. Now, let's delve into this Nollywood sci-fi and time loop movie to ascertain if it truly distinguishes itself as a science fiction film. The other day, I received a call from a friend in the Nigerian movie industry, urging me to watch this new Nollywood sci-fi and time loop movie on Amazon Prime. I was shocked when he mentioned a sci-fi movie with a time loop theme. My expectations were set high, hoping for a storyline and execution akin to Hollywood movies like Boss Level, Edge of Tomorrow, Interstellar, Source Code, Meet Cute, or Tenet. Alright, I believe I may have been overly ambitious with my expectations because there's no way in Movie Kingdom I was expecting this movie's director to pull an Interstellar or Tenet movie production with this JAPA movie. Let me begin by stating that the writers and director of this movie seem to lack an understanding of what constitutes a science fiction film. They clearly don't grasp the concept of a time loop. Therefore, if you're anticipating a time loop narrative in this JAPA film, labeled as a science fiction movie, you're undoubtedly wasting your time. What does time loop entail in a science fiction or fantasy movie? A straightforward Google search and some research could have assisted the writers and the director of this movie. However, like most Nollywood productions, they seem to act as they please, assuming their viewers or moviegoers are brainless individuals who won't scrutinize what they present. A time loop, or temporal loop, is a narrative device in fiction where characters relive a specific period repeatedly, often with the hope of escaping the cycle of repetition. Essentially, it involves a person or character experiencing the recurrence of a single day multiple times. I won't delve into the storyline of this movie. One reason is to keep this review concise and not overly lengthy, and another is that the plot was disappointingly weak and predictably silly. The performance of the actors and the cinematography has always been a crucial aspect of my reviews, so I'll discuss a few of the actors' performances, starting with the lead actor. Jidekene Achufusi portrays Mezu, the teacher aiming to relocate to the United States. His performance here, much like in many of his other films and series, was subpar. His acting often appears as though he's struggling to embody his role, and at times, You can sense the tendency for overacting common among many Nollywood actors. I hate to admit it, but there was nothing memorable about his performance. Okay, we can argue that the script is bad and the director didn't bring out the best in him, but the truth is, if you watch most of his performances in other productions, he tends not to deliver good performances. There's little or no improvement in his acting. Adesua Etomi-Wellington portrays Mezu's colleague at the school where he teaches. While there were a few bright spots in some of her performances, overall, her acting did not contribute any on-screen wow factor to the production. As the movie progressed, it was revealed that she was also caught in a time loop with Mezu. Consequently, both characters had to collaborate to find a way to break out of the time loop. The chemistry between her and Mezu lacked interest in every aspect of the movie. Their on-screen chemistry seemed rigid, and their dialogue failed to alleviate the situation. Mofe Duncan portrays the villain in this poorly executed science fiction film, which hardly qualifies as a true sci-fi movie. His performance left much to be desired, as he struggled to embody the role effectively. The character lacked the essential qualities of a villain, and his lollipop-licking gimmick fell flat. It seems the director intended to juxtapose a menacing and soft image with the lollipop, but the execution fell short of its intended effect. The other characters were mediocre at best. None delivered standout performances, and it was evident that much of their dialogue was improvised, particularly the character portrayed by the Igbo wolf. It seemed the director simply let him improvise without a script. I'll reiterate, the inclusion of skit makers in Nollywood films reflects laziness and poor judgment on the part of the directors. Skit makers lack the training and expertise of seasoned actors. The main concept or theme of this movie is the time loop. If the director fails to execute this concept correctly, the movie will miserably fall flat on its face. And that's precisely what happened with this movie. It failed so badly that there was no cushioning for a soft landing. The time loop concept in this movie was the worst I've ever seen in a movie. The fact that the director tagged this as a science fiction movie is beyond absurd. Imagine watching this awful movie, and with each time loop, characters were seen in different outfits. The most annoying part of it all was that the time loop was jumping into different days. Therefore, it was a time loop happening on different days. And before I forget, characters not experiencing the time loop were easily remembering things or conversations involving the characters in the time loop. At this point, while watching this movie, I couldn't help but feel that the director and her team were simply insulting us viewers with this lackluster piece of garbage they are calling a science fiction movie. Beyond the time loop mess, the story and plot of the movie were just as bad and senseless as the time loop concept. The writer and director seemed clueless about how to justify why Mezu and Adesua's character were in a time loop. In typical Nollywood fashion, they turned their so-called sci-fi time loop movie into juju-fi. I just knew this time loop was going to be some juju madness that would make no sense. Apparently, Adesua's character offended the gods or deity in her hometown, and the deity sent soldier ants to bite her, causing her to be in a time loop. Well, the same ants bit Mezu. The funny part in this whole soldier ant biting time loop madness was that the writer called the deity Omenana. It is evident that the writer of this story and the director of this movie lack any knowledge of what Omenana is. A simple research or visit to Google or Wikipedia would have saved them the embarrassment. Omenana, also written as Omenani or Omenala, refers to the culture of the Igbo people of Nigeria. Omenana is synonymous with Odinana, sometimes spelled Odinala or Odinani, which means as it is in the land. In simple terms, it denotes the tradition or custom of a people. Using a made-up name for the deity would have made more sense than misappropriating a term for the tradition and custom of a people. A myriad of flaws plagued this movie, as previously mentioned, particularly its disjointed plots. Some scenes will leave you bewildered and confounded by their sheer absurdity. For instance, a female character was depicted as uneducated. When asked if she would like to relocate, she eagerly agreed, expressing a desire to move to the United States. When questioned about which American state she preferred, she humorously responded with Paris or Canada, within the United States. However, the joke fell flat because the character had been portrayed in other scenes as well-educated, with a proficient command of English. Again, the writer and director were simply shooting as they pleased, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is later revealed that this movie had no detailed script. In summary, JAPA is an annoying piece of trash that should not be labeled as a science fiction movie. The movie is nowhere close to being a sci-fi film. The actors' performances were weak, and their acting is not commendable. Nothing in this movie worked. The time loop theme was not intriguing and made no cinematic sense whatsoever. The dialogue lacked engagement, and the plots were as weak as every other aspect of the movie. This movie is a colossal insult to the sci-fi genre. Anyone calling this a sci-fi movie needs to consult a doctor at JAPA left. And now for my rating. JAPA scores a well-deserved 0 out of 10. I'm definitely trashing this. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for notifications. Also, be sure to follow me on TikTok, WhatsApp channel, and Instagram at Dominus Cinephile for more movie and TV series reviews. Dominus Cinephile, signing out.